Athletes and bodybuilding fans around the world, welcome to another episode of Primetime Muscle. I'm Tim Wilkins, joined by the legend, Chris Cormier, the real deal.
How you doing, Tim? It's great to be here.
It is great to have you with me, Chris.
Thank you.
And Tarek El-Guindy from around the world, good to have you.
Excellent to be here. I'm so excited. I love being next to you guys. I don't have many friends. So you guys are the best I can do.
Well, and you were paid to be our friend, so we're on. Hey, guys, there was a guy last year. The Olympia is just weeks away, and it's getting more exciting by the day. Guys that have recently qualified. One guy that qualified and was qualified last year couldn't get a visa here, and there was a lot of chatter that he would have been in the top 10 if he'd have made it into that lineup.
3 years in a row, he's been. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You know, you have some stats, which is enlightening.
3 years in a row. 3 years in a row, he's been qualified, and each time he has not been denied. I want to get that straight. Not denied, just hasn't been looked at yet in order to get his visa. But I got a chance to see this guy. My first time seeing him was in Abu Dhabi this year, and it was just before the Dubai show. I saw him on the Instagram one day at a different gym in Dubai. This is like an hour and a half away, Abu Dhabi, Oxygen Gym, Beta Budai's fabulous gym in Abu Dhabi. I see this guy is very, very wide, and I was like, I don't know if it's him, but I'm pretty sure it's him. I thought he came up there just to get a good look at a competitor that I was training, Nexzilla. Just wanted to see him face to face, and I think, because a lot of people say, oh, but if you see him in person, it's totally different from stage shots or photo shots or anything. So I was surprised to see him, but I was glad because it just added to the intensity of the competition, which was going to be between him and, as we thought, Nexzilla and Nathan D'Asher. Those guys were going to be, in the top spots. That's what everyone thought going in. So to see him, he was very, very wide. Is my first thing that I noticed from the back, shoulder to shoulder. There's not many people with those large clavicle bones like that. And that's where I seen the difference is he knows his poses, that most muscular, elbows, he's really taking advantage of his strength with the shoulder to shoulder girth and the elbow to elbow width. And, pressing in pretty hard. He hits it hard. You don't hit it very softly. Hits it hard. That catches the judge's eye. It's a big plus for him, that most muscular.
Well, Tarek, we'll talk about Behrooz and have you kind of look at the physique and pick it apart piece by piece. But I think going up against Rubiel Mosquera, Nexzilla at that show, that was the show that Chris forced him to compete because he was a little under the weather, and he said, Nexzilla, get up there and show your muscles.
I had a prodder, like, go on, get now.
Did you force him to dance too?
Go on, get now.
Did you force him to dance?
Now. I said get loose. I said get loose out there. You're a little too tight.
Oh boy, he got loose.
Get loose. Get a little loose.
He got very loose.
A little loose.
Well, let's look at Behrooz, and a lot of people last year talking about where he would have ended up, and he's just got such a quality. There's such a quality to his physique.
Well, let's go back in history. Brett Wilkins, great competitor, turned pro at the Junior Nationals in Chicago as a classic physique competitor, is now a bodybuilder, hardcore bodybuilder. Him and Martin Fitzwater are the new hardcore brothers of bodybuilding. Brett Wilkins goes to Romania to get his qualification, and Milos Sarcev said, well, not so fast. I got a guy from Iran going there, and he can beat you. It turns out this guy, Behrooz Tabani, beats Brett Wilkins at the Romania Muscle Fest. A year later, Arnold Classic Brazil. All the Brazilians are there, some Europeans are there, and here comes this Iranian in Brazil, and he wins the title. A year later, this guy cannot get the visa to the United States. He goes to Europe, wins a show there. Then he goes to Dubai against William Bonac, who has placed second at the Olympia. Nathan Diasha, who's won more than 10 pro shows, and the dancing Nexzilla,
Dancing
and
bear.
he gets $100,000. Okay? Baruz Tabani is the real deal. Baruz Tabani is dangerous. Baruz Tabani, just like Hadi Choopan, is a phenomenal bodybuilder. He's under the guidance of the mind Milo Sarcev. Look at this big striated butt, okay? He's
Big
got
old butt.
big old striated butt. Look at the hamstrings. He's improving his legs. His density on top is incredible. So we're talking about possibly a top 5 competitor at the Mr. Olympia. If he is here on stage in the United States, this guy could be top 5 at the Olympia.
I did not believe it before, Tarek. I did not believe what I saw and start to witness is if you look at the small waist here, very small waist for the amount of mass he carries up top. But you also, besides that, small hips. When you have small hips and you have small waist and you have that broad shoulder up top with those clavicle bones, you have a prototypical physique that can challenge most mass monsters and along with the smaller, tight physiques of the 212s guys that turn into the open class. That's the X factor, the denominator, common denominator that he can have, like the real deal himself, the original real deal, that he can do some major damage on the stage.
Now just
he's
finish with the sartorius muscle,
and he's got
so you can complete my pain.
Well, when he does that little dip before he hits his shot, he flexes those sartorius muscles. That little
We call
dip.
that the Leo dip.
The Leo dip.
Yes.
The Leo dip.
Now your pain is
does
complete.
that-
Now,
dip.
now my pain is
If he
complete.
dips, you better skip.
Okay. Well, here's a good point, because one of the criticisms we had about Baruz Tabani was that his upper body was overpowering his lower body. What did he do? He actually did the Leo dip with his toes out to
Toes
improve
out.
his quads. So he did that on purpose. Not only are his quads getting better, but if you look at him posing Baruz Tabani, he points his toes to the outside to emphasize his quads because he knows that's potentially one of his weaknesses. I give him a lot of credit for knowing his weaknesses, trying to work them through the posing. Now, guys, the head judges of the Dubai Pro, Tyler Mannion and Steve Weinberger, who are the guys right there at the Olympia, they put him in first place at a show with William Bonac, Nathan Diasha, Nexzilla, and a lot of great stars. This guy has won 3 pro shows, qualified for the Olympia prior to the Dubai Pro. I believe he's made a statement. And I'm telling you this, let's break all the barriers. We had an Iranian competitor by the name of Hadi Choopan, aka the Big Azizam, the Persian Wolf, come to the United States and win the Mr. Olympia. The path has been open for competitors from Iran to come to the United States and win the Mr. Olympia, thanks to Hadi Choopan.
Yes. I'd like to see him go head-to-head with Hadi. That would be a matchup for the ages because I am now a believer in this gentleman. I feel he is someone that can improve. He has weaknesses that he can work on that's easily to improve, and that can make him even more dangerous. I mean, his abs can be better than what they are here. If you add some added abs development and cuts, deeper cuts, thicker abs to go with that massive chest and shoulders, then you're looking at something that's going to be, hard to beat from the front. Back double bicep, he can't improve the back. The back needs some help. If the back was equal to the front, and the legs are improved just a little bit more, you're talking about a Mr. Olympia for sure.
Olympia prediction this year.
Go ahead, Chris.
If he's in the class, he's definitely in the top 5.
I can't make predictions. I'm judging the show, but I want to say this. You brought a good point. I did a live with Barus Tabani, Johan, who's a bodybuilder and translated to us, Bob Cicarillo, the master of ceremonies, and Sean Ray, the guy that's jealous you're in the show and he's not. And we talked about his relationship with Hadi Choopan. And he said, Hadi is my big brother. He's been helping me. He's been supporting me. He has inspired me. If it wasn't for Hadi during the tough moments, I don't know. So they have a great relationship. Hadi is his mentor, his big brother.
Well, these guys bring a certain level of physique. It might be genetic, might be conditioning, might be something that they're doing. We're going to talk about that when we come back with the history and what it may be that's making these great bodybuilders out of Iran so special. Back on Primetime Muscle. We often talk, guys, about different regions and different areas that have a rich history in bodybuilding and maybe successful genetics, as we've talked about with some of the Asian countries. We're talking about the Iranian bodybuilders. We were talking about Behrouz Tabani a minute ago. Of course, Mr. Olympia, Hadi Choopan. There have been others. King Kamali was Persian.
Hani Rambod, Persian. But Vahid Badpay.
Did Hani compete?
Hani competed, and he is also one of the great coaches.
Of all
so
time.
I include him with the Iranian-Persian connection. He has a huge influence in getting a lot of the Iranian competitors to compete in the IFBB Pro League. I give him a lot of credit. Baitola, who trained with our Dennis James, rest in peace. He was a phenomenal competitor. Vahid Badpay, classic physique, took second to Breon Ansley in Dubai. He also placed top 10 at the Olympia Classic Physique. And obviously, Barus Tabani, Hadi Choopan. I judged just this year the Phoenix Pro, and in the men's physique, Hussein Karimi from Iran won the show. So it's nice to see that we have a lot of Iranian competitors succeeding. The key question is, why are they so good?
Well, Tarek, you posed this in our emails to each other, and I did a little bit of research. Not a lot of places have a rich history of bodybuilding. You think of ancient Rome and Greece with the statues and people exercising. Iran actually has, can be traced back to ancient Persia, where it was a fundamental part of their daily life. Athletes and fighters used a combination of body weight exercises, weightlifting, wrestling, and grappling, along with dynamic movements, stretches, and flows. And then they actually had an ancient sport, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to do my best, called Varseshi Palavani, that combined bodybuilding with other skills like music and art. So it was the original, if you want to think about it, the original not only development of your body, but putting that into an art form for display.
Yes, that's kind of like, I mean, even when I was in college, I had a couple of wrestlers from Iran that was on my team, and thick calves, thick legs, great physiques already. Is, I mean, you know, genetically gifted country, and you know, I think, you know, the food that they eat on a regular basis is not. It's not. You know, when I was in the Middle East, I was in Kuwait, I was in Abu Dhabi, Dubai. Those restaurants are catered towards how many grams of carbs you want, how many grams of protein you want. That's what you get out of regular restaurants. So, I mean, I'm talking about it's so many healthy restaurants in the Middle East. It's crazy. Way more than the United States. I guarantee you, like every corner you see a healthy restaurant.
Wow. So that, and Tarek, there may be a rich history that has passed down through the genes through the years of not only incorporating exercise into the thing, but developing that DNA to say we will be chiseled and proportionate and dense and thick, and that we may very well have discovered this.
And Tim, I did not know that. And I'm glad you researched that. You know, if it was part of the Persian Empire for them to lift weights, for them to do all those things, I can definitely understand why they're so successful right now. I asked Milos, I said, Milos, why do they all come in extremely well conditioned? And Milos said, Tarek, they just work hard. And where does hard work come from, right? You know, sometimes people say, well, hard work is hard work. Hard work comes from a genetic thing in you that tells you you have to do what it takes.
You know, coming from Kuwait, I know it's not Iran, but it's still, you know, the same type of mentality. When we walk down the street there, people pull over their cars to take a photo with you, get back in their car, and continue on their journey. Like, in the culture, the thing to do as a man when you reach puberty is to go to the gym. Every guy from, I'm talking about even the ones that's not very well built, don't have the best genetics, they're in the gym. And that's what I see different in America. In America, I think it's more like the kids want to, you know, they're on the PlayStation, they're on the different sports, into football or whatever. They do a little bit of training to do what they got to do there. But that's just part of being a man, is going to the gym. The women are even joining in more so. They have, you know, some are separate, some are co-ed, but that is the thing to do, is to go to the gym. And it's to eat this food beforehand, afterwards, and to go to the gym. That's a daily thing. That's what people want to do, and they're raised that way.
Well, you're both historians of the sport, especially in our current state. I'm trying to think, outside of the U.S., how many other countries have multiple representatives? Even the guys that were Canadian the last few years have all come to America. You know, you had Bumstead and Ian Valliere and Antoine. A few of those guys made the trek down, all living in Florida. What other countries? You got Vissers and Urs are both, they're not even from the same country. They're Austria and Germany.
No, Wesley Vissers is from the Netherlands. Urs is from Germany. So we have a plethora of competitors from everywhere. But what we're noticing right now, Tim, is a huge influx from 3 countries. First and foremost, the Canadians. Okay, Missy Truscott was born in Canada. Chris Bumstead, born in Canada. Ian Valliere, Canada. Jennifer Dory, Canada. Laura Lee Chapados, Canada.
Dillette.
You know, well, we're talking about the recent guys, but Paul Dillette, Craig Kovacs. Hey, Kylie. Let's give a hand to Kylie right here. Yeah.
Then return my text.
The only one that laughs at our jokes. But you got Canada, first one. Then you got the Brazilians, right? You know, the Brazilians came out of nowhere.
Across all divisions.
Oh, man. Ramon, Diogo, Brandão, Franciele, Angelica. They all came. Figure, you got everybody. Canadians, Brazilians.
Women's physique.
Zama Benta, Natalia Coelho. Yeah. And then you got the Iranians. Okay? You talk about Hadi Chupin, Vahid Badpei. You talk about Barous Tabani. You talk about Hussein Karimi. And you know what? I judge Sahar, women's physique competitor, okay, in Romania. She turned pro there. She dominated. She was the star of the show, okay? So now we might be seeing some of the female categories from Iran. Those people from Iran, they're Persian warriors, man. They come in condition. They fight to the end, and that's what we're seeing. Congratulations to the Canadians, to my Brazilians, to the Iranians. Come to the Olympia. We love you guys.
Well, I can say this before we go to break, that the rest of the world better hope that the Iranian bodybuilders never have the Olympia move to Sparta. That it didn't end so well for the Spartans.
No.
So we applaud all those great athletes coming to us, and your amazing work ethic and conditioning. We look forward to what you bring to this year's Olympia. And when we come back, we mentioned this guy, and we're going to talk about where he's been in the past and where he stands right now as he continues to fight his way towards the Olympia. When we come back on Primetime Muscle. right, one of the fixtures the last few Olympias has been the conqueror, William Bonac. And kind of off the scene for about a year, fellas, and then comes back with a bang, looking good. Let's talk about where he's been, his past, and where he's going. Where do you think he's headed?
I love William Bonac. I love what he brings to the stage. I love him as a person. I know his wife. I know his kids. I was the first one to judge the William Bonac Classic in the Netherlands. And man, again, I like to go back in history. William Bonac comes to the world of bodybuilding and places third at the Olympia. The mic is on Ronnie Coleman as he walks off the Orleans Arena, and Ronnie Coleman said plenty of times, Bonac is off the chains. Bonac is off the chains. That's when the world realized how great of a bodybuilder this guy is. Started as a 212, but found his success in the open category. After that, he places second to Brandon Curry at the 2020 Mr. Olympia. So, and then, he had a few tough years. There was an Olympia, last year Olympia, he placed seventh. And I went to talk to him and I said, William, hey, you know your place in this, you know your legacy and this and that. And he looked deep into my eyes and says, brother, I'm not done yet. He reminded me that he was not done yet. And this year he told everybody, I'm back.
I believe when he first made his mark was at the Arnold Classic in Australia when he took second. And people started looking at him like, he can do this. Like, he can do this class, and he can be a great opponent in this class, and he can actually, on a good day, possibly win the Mr. Olympia. I seen him, it took, it was a little over a year, maybe a year and a half, close to even two, that he kind of stepped away from the sport. Probably, rethinking things. He got a new coach. He seems to work really well with that coach. He came in, won a competition on his way back. He beat Nathan Diashe, I believe. Then he did another competition. He was a little bit more flatter. Chest was a little bit more flatter. The body's a little bit different when he came back. It didn't have that same pop as he did, previously when he was competing and making his way up into the standards, taking second on Mr. Olympia and everything. But he came to Dubai, revamped, a little fuller, very tight all over. Great package he brought to Dubai, and places second to the Iranian. That's where I feel like he's still got some way to go, and he still is hungry to do more. And I think we're going to see more and more out of this great champion.
Let's take a look at William and talk about his physique and where we are now. And Tarek, I got to say, one of the things I've always liked about you is class. You're one of the only people that would ever quote Ronnie and not do the voice. So, thank you. You mentioned,
Can you say, well, you guys are better than me. Can you say Bonac off the chains, Bonac off the chain with the Ronnie Coleman accent?
Bonac is off the chain.
Bonac he off the chains.
Off the chain.
So here's the deal. Who's winning the Mr. Olympia right now? Derek Lunsford, Hadi Choopan last year. What does this guy have in common with those guys?
212 champ.
He is
Little.
He came
Short.
from the 212. You're correct.
Shorter.
Well, I like your enthusiasm.
I thought we were playing that game. I was about to win that.
No, I like his enthusiasm. You know what I
win
mean? A man, when he spends time with his family,
Yeah.
he just comes back with a lot of energy, So, William Bonac is short, he's dense, he packs a lot of muscle, just like Derek Lunsford, just like Hadi Choopan. Let's take in consideration, he already beat Hadi Choopan at the Olympia. When he played second, Hadi placed third. Look at the hamstrings, hanging hamstrings. Big quads. His quads are as big as Dun Square in Amsterdam. He packs a lot of the muscle. He's regaining his size. Some people said Bonac is a bit undersized. He's regaining his size. Look at this most muscular here, okay? Look at that neck. He's like, hey, I can't dance like Neckzilla, but I got big ass neck, okay? You know, Bonek, William, do not do the dance, William, okay? So he's got the density. He's a great poser. And look at that back lat spread. I'll let you cover that, Chris.
Yes, backlash spread is not the widest. He's got a compact area to work with. This is not his best pose, but he does do enough to hang because he's got these striated glutes that, I mean, was as sharp as in Dubai, in my opinion. Sharpest glutes and the hamstring tie-in. I mean, it's not just the lower back, but he tends to overcome that by being very spectacular in the gluteus maximus area.
So, Chris, given that you had front row seats at Dubai, from William Bonac years past to the guy that's on stage now heading into the Olympia, what are we looking at?
Well, he made his way back into the glory look. I thought he was very detailed. A human anatomy chart, which I like to see out of bodybuilding, is what he displayed in Dubai. And I feel like if he continued to improve and catch that same type of wave, you know, even though he don't have the largest clavicle bones, a little bit shorter in that area, but he knows how to pose. He's improved his posing more. And that trademark serratus and oblique shot was back in Dubai.
And you know, Chris is right. He doesn't have the large clavicle bones, which might be a little bit of a disadvantage in some shots. But not having the large clavicle bones can be an advantage on some of the side shots, such as side chest, side triceps, because you look denser, right? Just like Phil Heath. William Bonac, if he comes in shredded, dense, he's going to be fighting for that first call out, okay? If he shows his best, that's where he belongs. The key question is, can William bring the William Bonac from 2019 and 20? If he's bringing that, good luck to everybody. That guy is going to fight for everything.
Now, 2019, he was second to
2019 was the year that Sean Roden won. And Sean Roden
2018 was Sean Roden.
Sean Roden was 2018 or 19?
18. 19 was Brendan Curry.
Brendan Curry, you're correct. Oh, man. Tim Wilkins. Tim Wilkins is correcting me.
So
it's the mullet.
It was the mullet. It's
Yes.
my power mullet.
So you're right. 2019, Brendan Curry won. He took second.
He took second. Now, he was a beast at that show, though. That was a tight one. But they both had their flaws from the back. And now you know, and we know this about every bodybuilder, you can't compare your 2019 or 22 self or 21 or 23 because everybody's improving along with you. No one's sitting still. So hopefully he can relive that magic plus a little bit more because he's going to be battling 3 Mr. Olympias up there for that top 10, top 5. Hottie, Derek, Brandon. The only other Mr. Olympia that was in that mix was Dexter for a while, and Dex is busy with his beef jerky. Check it out, the Blade Beef Jerky.
Busy with his beef jerky.
He's got beef jerky.
That does not sound
He's
good,
got beef
man.
jerky.
Yeah.
Busy with his beef jerky.
Yeah.
All right.
So I hope he brings it and mixes things up.
I really hope so. I'm a huge fan. I've known him for a long time. William, get it going. We need you there fighting for that first call out. Let's go.
Yes, he'll be in that first call out for sure. And I feel like, I mean, like I say, if he improves more, he's definitely going to be in that first call out. I don't see why not.
Well, about 6 weeks ago, I was emceeing the Lee Labrada Classic over in Houston, and saw the guest posing of Hunter Labrada, who is seriously sized up.
Father of the son.
The father of the son of the father. And he's looking huge. You've, of course, got Samson, who's massive. You got those 3 guys. We got Beiruz. We got William. Martin Fitzwater was a mind blower at the beginning of this season when he made his 2 qualifications.
He's going to make his, his first one.
Bob
right?
Ciccarello actually had Martin Fitzwater winning the New York Pro over Nick Walker.
And then
He was not very popular, but Nick Walker reminded him after the show, well, Bob, you're wrong. But Martin Fitzwater is a tremendous bodybuilder.
And go back to that, you said it, Nick Walker. The one that just we list these guys off, and how in the world do we occasionally even remotely forget about Nick Walker, who is, when he was here with us for the battle, just as determined as he ever has been.
Man, he was so determined. It looked like he was gonna eat everybody at the gym and break everything.
He's like a cyborg at the dinner table, right?
Well, here's the problem too. We're at the time we're 21 weeks out from the Olympia.
Cyborg style.
And we're at this nice steakhouse enjoying steaks that are, a mortgage payment. And Nick's got his Tupperware. Bro, how can I was 10 weeks out from the Masters Nationals. How can you eat that 10 weeks out? I said, you're 21 weeks out. You're eating Tupperware. You're eating fish out of a Tupperware. He goes,
How can you eat?
I don't cheat, bro. I don't cheat. So he is just dead on. He was so hurt last year with that hamstring pull because he really was dead set on being in that mix for the top 3.
Yeah. Well, he's back.
So we've got the Conqueror, we've got Nick, we've got a lot of great guys. It is going to be a battle for that top 5, that
Yes,
number 1 spot.
Yes. Give us some likes, give us some shares, give us some support, guys.
Subscribe, tell your friends. We are so grateful you were here with us week after week at Primetime Muscle. Tara Kilkenny, the Mega Judge.
Great to be here with both of you guys. I'm so excited about the Olympia. Man, the pay-per-view is going to be awesome. The Olympia is going to be awesome. Let's go, Tim.
Let's go.
The legend, the real deal, Mr. Chris
Let's
Cormier.
do it. Great to see you, Tim.
Great to see you both.
As always.
Don't skip your cardio. Finish up, finish strong, and we look forward to seeing you at the Olympia coming up.